Coming up, a Senate committee votes next hour on Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court nomination. Plus, we'll tell you about one of the fallouts of yesterday's emotional testimony, a spike in nationwide sexual assault reportings. And after an accident killed 2 local high school students, we'll tell you what the state is doing now about the intersection involved in Manatee County. Your Suncoast News starts right now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Ray Collins, and for Scott Dennis, topping our news today, a key vote this afternoon for the Senate Judiciary Committee. A day after a dramatic hearing on Capitol Hill, senators are expected to move forward today on the Supreme Court nomination of Brett Kavanaugh. ABC's Lana Zak has the latest from Capitol Hill.
Democrats tried one last time to convince their Republican colleagues to hold off on considering Judge Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court pending a thorough FBI investigation into the sexual assault allegations.
Today I am moving that we subpoena Mark Judge.
Republicans voted to proceed without delay.
Aye. Mr. Kennedy.
Aye. Democrats in shock.
No, no, no.
Several Democrats walking out of the meeting.
And ramming this thing through because they have the power.
While Republicans justified their support.
There's simply no reason to deny Judge Kavanaugh a seat on the Supreme Court on the basis of evidence presented to us.
I've never heard a more compelling defense of one's honor and integrity than I did from Brett Kavanaugh.
The ranking Democrat, Dianne Feinstein, stayed behind to defend her actions and voice her strong opposition to Kavanaugh.
This was not someone who reflected an impartial temperament or the fairness and even-handedness one would see in a judge.
And Feinstein voiced her full support for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, the first of 3 people to accuse Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct and the only one to be questioned by the committee.
I believed he was going to rape me.
In the moments before the meeting, Senator Flake, one of the few crucial swing votes, announced he would be voting in favor of confirming Kavanaugh. That decision igniting passions here at the Capitol and around the nation.
Look at me when I'm talking to you. You're telling me that my assault doesn't matter.
Many Republicans expressed sympathy for Dr. Blasey Ford, but Democratic Senator Patrick Leahy said that voting for Kavanaugh was an insult to her and would have a chilling effect on victims of sexual assault nationwide, telling them not to come forward. Reporting from the Capitol, Lana Zak, ABC News.
For the latest on this story and breaking news and the First Alert forecast, check out our app under WWSB or under My Suncoast. Now, during and after yesterday's polarizing testimony, there was a spike in the number of sexual assault reports nationwide. Our Marla Spence has a closer look at that angle. Marla?
Well, Ray, as millions of Americans watched hearings and recall Christine Blasey Ford's testimony about her accusations that Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her 36 years ago, many memories are sparked by so many people across the nation. Just yesterday, the sexual assault hotline saw a 147% spike in phone calls into the hotline, the highest spike ever seen. The organization says it's often sees an uptick in survivors asking for help when sexual assault is in the news, but yesterday's spike is something dispatchers haven't quite seen in some time. The last time there was a high spike was this past weekend when the hotline saw an increase of 57% when a second accuser against Kavanaugh, Deborah Ramirez, came forward. Now, the big question surrounding this alleged sexual assault and so many others is, why do victims wait so long to come forward? We spoke to Safe Place and Rape Crisis Center, also known as Spark. The president and CEO there tells us fear is the primary reason.
It's important to realize that as a culture, we don't usually start by believing. And wouldn't it be nice if someone who had experienced assault could feel comfortable in knowing that, okay, I'm going to share this and people will believe me from the start. And I think oftentimes victims of sexual assault are questioned and blamed. Someone's response to trauma is to just internalize everything, and then, you know, later on they might be at a place where they feel safer or more comfortable sharing that, or even coming to terms with that. Trauma can affect memory. Trauma can affect a lot of different parts of the body and the memory and the response.
And many other experts also say victims fear losing their job, housing, reputation, and even their lives. Jessica Hayes, the president and CEO of Spark, tells us in addition to the spike in phone calls into the sexual hotline, assault hotline that is, her organization has seen so many demands for services, both their hotline and shelter. She tells us all of their services are free and open to anyone who has or currently is experiencing sexual assault. Ray?
Okay, thank you, Marla Spence. A former gymnastics coach at Michigan State University will stand trial for allegedly covering up Dr. Larry Nassar's sex abuse. A judge ruled that Kathy Klages will face 2 counts of lying to police. 2 of Nassar's victims testified that they told her about his abuse as far back as 1997, but investigators say she lied to them that no one ever told her about the abuse. Nassar was the physician working for MSU and USA Gymnastics. He was sentenced to decades in prison after more than 150 women and girls accused him of sex abuse. The longtime spokesman of the Manatee County Sheriff's Office will be laid to rest tomorrow. Dave Bristow passed away earlier this week. A visitation is set for today from 3 to 6 at Brown & Sons Funeral Home on 43rd Street West in Bradenton. And a funeral is set for tomorrow at 1 p.m. at the First Church of the Nazarene on 59th Street West in Bradenton. Dave Bristow was just 59 years old. One of those stories it's hard to believe I'm saying out loud. I've known him for 15 years. We talk once a week.
I think when you hear about somebody who passes so young, it's even harder to deal with, I think. Such a young guy. And by all accounts, just nice to everybody. You know,
yeah, very nice guy. He worked here years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, and happened suddenly, and no cause has been released beyond just saying natural causes.
Right.
So,
hearts go out to his family. We have some very nice weather here on the Sun Coast today. As dawn broke on the Sun Coast, we had plenty of blue sky to talk about. I think as we head into the next couple of days, we're going to see a lot of sunshine. Fair weather clouds out there in the Gulf right now, kind of left over from the showers that we had during the overnight, actually, those last remaining clouds out there in the Gulf. Over land, we're starting to see the formation of a few clouds in inland areas now. We do have some dry air in place, and that's going to tend to limit the shower activity we get. It'll also, like yesterday, delay the onset of those rain showers, but it'll also help boost our temperatures. Right now, closing in on that 90 mark in some locations, with 87 degrees in Sarasota, 86 degrees in Bradenton, and as we head into the afternoon, we'll hit the 90 mark. And the rain chance today, less than average, coming in at about 20%. And we'll talk about the weekend in just a minute. Right?
Thank you, John. One of Manatee County's most dangerous intersections is getting a big change. Nearly 2 weeks ago, 2 Lakewood Ranch High School students died at the intersection of State Road 64 and Pope Road. Neighbors had begged the state for years for a traffic light there, and now the state is taking action with a roundabout. Starting Monday, the left turn lane to Pope Road will be closed in order to start building a roundabout there. FDOT urges everybody to obey the speed limit as they travel through the work zones. Again, that starts on Monday. Also Monday, the city of Sarasota will be in charge of 5 parks previously maintained by Sarasota County. Those parks include Arlington Park, Centennial Park, Ken Thompson Park, the Lawn Bowling Facility, and Payne Park. Sarasota County ended an agreement to run the parks. That was part of the reason the city voted to raise the tax rate on property owners. The city also put aside $2 million for the transition.
Staffing needs, operational needs, that's really budgeting needs, and it's actually coming from the general funds. So that's really just basically taxpayers' millage dollars.
Fogel says they may still need more money from the city to fund repairs at the various parks they're taking over on Monday, October the 1st. Happening today, Nathan Benderson Park is hosting the 2018 World Rowing Masters Regatta. The racing began yesterday on Cattleman Road in Sarasota County. The regatta consists of several days of competition. 2,000 rowers from hundreds of clubs around the world are here for this big event. The finals are set for Monday. Looks like a nice big event out there. Talk about your money now. Jeff Stern is here, and after a good week for the NASDAQ, the S&P and Dow are finally catching up as well.
That's right. Yesterday was the first update for the Dow and the S&P. NASDAQ's been positive, though, about 0.5% so far for the week. While the Dow is down around 1%, while the S&P's trailing 0.5% for the week. We know the big news Wednesday, the Feds raised the rates. Nobody was too surprised, but we see the 10-year Treasury 3.03%. Bed Bath & Beyond came out with terrible earnings, actually, and they're way down yesterday, and we've seen that a lot. So let's see how we're currently trading. When I woke up, the futures were negative, but now we're positive. The Dow is 26,491, up over 51 points, 0.2%, while NASDAQ is positive as well, up 16.8, 8,058, up almost a full 0.25%, while the S&P green as well, 2,919, up almost 6 points. There's that 0.25%.
You know, one stock I was tempted to buy earlier in the year was Tesla. All the news was good about Tesla. You've got an update for us.
That is correct. Big news. The SEC came out yesterday and said there's going to have inquiries and possible lawsuits coming up. They said that there's fraud being done against Elon Musk, for saying in August 7th, a tweet, as we all know, talking about taking the company private at $420 a share. Nobody knows where he got that number. Some of us might have an idea from our college days, but the stock went up 9% at that particular time, and it's been down around 12%. That's fraud from the SEC. 3 weeks after that tweet, he's abandoned that idea, and you just really can't do that as a publicly traded company. So they're in there. There's a lot of issues going on. They owe about $1 billion come up in February, so we'll see if they'll have that aspect, and the shares just been down. So there's a lot of stuff going on. They may even come after Tesla, the company, afterwards, but
wow.
big news.
He's a brilliant guy in many ways, but in some other ways, like many of us, he's still learning.
He's very smart, creative, a great guy, but at the same time, you're running a publicly traded company, so it's the benefit of the investor, and that's important to maintain.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Still to come on your Suncoast News, an alarming new study on how much screen time can affect kids' ability to think. We'll have results of that study. And a new form of birth control is being linked to lowering the risk of a deadly cancer in women. Those stories and much more after this.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
what could be treasure.
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights. Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So plenty of sunshine outside, and the temperatures continue to rise. 87 degrees now. We'll definitely hit the 90 mark, I think. We have a 75 for a dew point value, making it feel still kind of humid at the surface. Aloft, the air is a little drier, and consequently, we even don't have a lot of cloud cover around. It's going to be a day, I think, very similar to yesterday. Showers and thunderstorms will be around, a few of them, maybe fewer than yesterday even, and they will probably occur later in the evening. Southeast wind, east-southeast, coming in at about 7. Boy, we had some big storms around last night. In the evening, and then again a second round coming in around the midnight hour, producing some very heavy rainfall. In fact, later in the night, we even had one storm that produced a flood warning briefly because of the amount of rain that was falling. So as we go into the evening, we'll go with about a 20% chance of storms. That's about it. Continuing that storm chance into around the midnight hour and then kind of fading it away as we head into the overnight toward dawn. We'll have, I think, wake up tomorrow morning with a pretty nice sky out there. And tomorrow, I think, our rain chances are going to be even smaller still. Titan radar right now not showing a drop of rain falling. We're going to have to wait for that. We had some cloud cover to start the day, but those clouds have since dissipated. This image is our water vapor image. It shows you where the moisture is, where it is not, the swirls and motions in our atmosphere. The dry air indicated here by the tan color, the moist air by the turquoise colors. This is at the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, and you can see all that dry air kind of filtering in this way. That's really going to put the lid on rain shower chances for tomorrow, I think. For today, it even reduces them significantly. We have this big ridge of high pressure still bringing us an easterly wind, so the direction of motion of the storms and the timing of the storms later in the day and the fact that our west coast will be favored over the east coast for shower development still holds true. It's just that we have less to work with in the atmosphere because of that drier air coming in. Frontal boundary back to the west will eventually kind of decay away with time. It'll allow this high pressure ridge to expand over the peninsula and to continue drawing in that drier air. The sinking, subsiding airs will not allow the clouds to build and grow, and consequently we are left with mostly sunny skies and only a few late day showers, drier air even over the weekend. And calm in the tropics as far as Florida is concerned, in fact, as far as most anybody is concerned. 2 areas of disturbed weather. The first one may have some chance of development over a couple of days, either as a subtropical system or as a tropical system, but it's going to be out in the Atlantic, no big deal. Kirk it's falling apart. Falling apart. I mean, your eye is immediately drawn to these big thunderstorms around, but there's the center of the storm. It's far away from where the thunderstorms are. It's in the process of just being torn apart by upper level winds, and it's got about a day to live. Right now, winds are decreasing. There are no watches or warnings up for any land masses, and it will probably just dissipate by tomorrow. We'll continue to watch it, though, but it'll have no effect on the state of Florida. Southeast wind turns west this afternoon at about 10 knots, and the forecast looks pretty good. We'll have about a 20% chance of showers today, high 91 tomorrow, 91. I won't even put in a rain chance. Not to say there couldn't be an isolated shower, but chance will be low. And then over the next several days, we'll look at that 20 or 30% chance of rain into next week. Right?
Thank you, John. And to Health Smart now. A new study says 95% of children get too much screen time. And along with that comes too little sleep and not enough exercise. But even more troubling, it can also affect their ability to learn.
SpongeBob, Sesame Street, Dora the Explorer. We all know them as seemingly harmless kids' TV shows. Many of them even promote learning. But could spending that much time in front of a screen cause kids to perform worse academically? According to a new study out of Canada focusing on 8 to 11-year-olds, this may be unfortunately the case. The average American child spends 3.6 hours, nearly 25% of their waking hours, watching TV, playing video games, or engaging in other screen-related activities. This amount of screen time was linked to declines in memory, processing speed, and attention span. Too little sleep and physical activity were also associated with worse cognition. So what's the optimal amount of time for 8 to 11-year-olds? Per guidelines, less than 2 hours of screen time, aim for 9 to 11 hours of sleep, and no less than 60 minutes of physical activity daily. Only 5% of the children in the study reached these daily goals. With this Medical Minute, I'm Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
A new study shows that certain forms of birth control can lower the risk of ovarian cancer. Hormonal contraception methods like a pill, patch, or ring are very effective as birth control, but they can also have health benefits as well. New study shows that estrogen-containing contraceptives may also lower the risk of ovarian cancer even years after a woman stops taking them. Overall, women in the study who had used hormonal contraceptives for any period of time showed a 34% lower risk of ovarian cancer. All right, time for lunch. Here is Chef Judy for today's report.
Simple recipe for you today, and it's that time of the year where I just want to eat a lot of bright salads and use what's fresh in season. It's cherries. They are sweeter than ever this year and such an abundance. So we're going to marry that with some fresh baby arugula, organic, so you get that real peppery taste that's mixed in with some baby spinach. You can also use baby kale if you want. It's a great way to incorporate kale into your diet if you don't want to make it all kale. And by using the baby kale, you don't get that those chewy pieces. But I've already pitted several cherries. We're getting that ready. One of the only times I'll use pre-crumbled cheese is crumbled goat cheese. And we have some black pepper seasoned caramelized pecans. We're going to bring that all together with a wild cherry vinaigrette. Now, cherries are a great anti-inflammatory. I tend to keep them in the house a lot for various dishes. This will give you that super boost. So stay with me. I'm coming back in just a few minutes and we will make a light and refreshing salad, all with great cherries.
Excuse me a minute. Hi, Dad. No, don't try to get up.
Hi, I'm Julie, a right-at-home caregiver. And if I'd been caring for Tom's dad, I would have noticed some dizziness that could lead to balance issues. That's because I'm trained to report any changes in behavior, no matter how small. So Tom could have peace of mind.
We'll be right there. We have to go.
Hey, Tom, you should try Right at Home. They're great for us.
The right care, right at home.
Stop in and save big on new Ram trucks during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years running. Get an all-new 2019 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999. Or save big and get up to $14,328 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota.
Clogged pores are disgusting. Introducing DermaSuction, the easy way to suck that yuck out of your pores. DermaSuction removes blackheads and dirt from your pores. Just look at everything it extracts. The secret's the gentle vacuum action. Watch as DermaSuction extracts so much yuck, leaving your skin feeling clean and youthful.
The gunk that had been pulled out, I was pretty horrified, but better in the DermaSuction than on my face.
It's almost addictive because you can see all this stuff coming out of your skin that you don't even really know is there.
Call now to order your DermaSuction for just $19.99. We'll also include our small and large body probes, the Sonic Microdermabrasion probe, and the handy travel case, all absolutely free. Order now and you can double the offer. Just pay a separate fee. You can get all this, but you have to order now.
Call 1-800-213-9301. That's 1-800-213-9301. Or visit dermasuction.com. So call 1-800-213-9301 now.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S., and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do.
Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000.
Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC7.
All right, time for our pet of the week. Always entertaining. John and Marcia are today with Bo. Guys?
I love Bo.
Don't you love
Yes,
it?
we love you, Bo.
And we have to sing happy birthday to you, 7 months old today.
Bo's going to be a big boy. Yes, you are. Look at that paw. Oh, my goodness. Bo's probably going to put on, what, another...
a few.
Another few. Yeah, those are big paws you got there, Bo.
But, you know...
What a great dog, though.
Bo is a Great Dane, and if you're looking for a Great Dane, this is perfection all the way.
Yes,
all the way.
Baby, yes,
Isn't
look at
that?
you. You're so sweet. You are so sweet.
And as you can see, he absolutely loves people.
Great Danes are awesome.
Oh, they're just, but there is a common fallacy about them, and that is, they're just kind of lazy and they're going to sit on the couch and, maybe when they're 5, 6, 7 years old. You've got a very...
He's got the old puppy ADD a little bit.
I hope you got him on the other side, do you?
He's good. He's good. Come on over here, sweet. Come on over here, Bo.
So you're dealing with a puppy. He's 7 months old. He's, as you can see, he's still very, very puppyish. He loves, he loves people. He is house trained. And he's learning his manners, so he's getting sociable. Right. But if you want a dog with absolute personality and character, somebody that can take a
family
good,
dog. Great family dog.
Will keep the kids kind of in order.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this also a dog that would probably appreciate a larger space, bigger backyard.
This is not a condo dog.
And this is not the cheapest dog in the world to feed. So make sure you have a budget, for an animal.
But what the thing of it is these dogs are still considered working dogs. Now, obviously, we don't use them for what they were so many, many years ago. But they love to run around. They love to be involved. They want to be with the family. Very, very loyal dogs. So how could you not fall in love with this, huh? And loves to ride in cars. Wants to ride in cars, and pretty soon you'll be in a car commercial.
This would make a family a great family pet. So if you've got space in your house and space in your heart, this is the dog, I'll tell you, for you. If you like big dogs, you are not going to find a sweeter disposition in an animal.
And of course, Bo is presented by the Big Dog Ranch Rescue, and you can reach them at 941-809-8500.
Marcia, thank you for bringing him in today. What a treat! What a treat! What a great way to end the week. All right, Bo, say goodbye. He's sleeping. Back to you, Ray.
ADD, thank you, folks. Oh, big yawn, that's nice. Let's go back to the kitchen now, and here is Chef Judy.
Okay, the first thing we want to do is we want to get about 1 3/4 cups of tart cherry juice into a pan, and we want to simmer it, bring it to a boil, then simmer it until it reduces by half. So it's going to basically, as it reduces, it's going to thicken. Now you want to cool this down a bit. So I usually do that about an hour before I'm going to make the dressing, okay? Then we're going to add some apple cider vinegar. That's going to give it a little bit of that punch that you want, and some white wine vinegar. And then a little olive oil. We'll be adding more olive oil in just a minute. So we have that started. And what I will do is I'll turn that on just for a minute so we can get a little, there we go, get a little base going. Now you can also add some cherries right into it if you want. But the key with this is you just want to be able to taste, make sure, we know we have to season it, but it's that great balance. So just a teeny bit of olive oil, and I think we're going to do just fine. So this is going to go really quickly. We're going to take some washed arugula and spinach. Even when it says washed, I always rewash it. You can't be too clean for things like this, okay? And especially sometimes organic tends to be a little more gritty, which is a good thing. Coming from the earth. Now, the pitted cherries, you can either use, if you make a lot of cherry pie, I highly recommend, whoop, little stem there, I highly recommend you use a cherry pitter, but I just put on some gloves today and did it that way. So we're gonna add about, probably close to 2 cups when we're done. A salad this size, you figure 4 people. What's great is today I'm not using any protein on it, but this would be so good with grilled chicken. Can you imagine that? Or even like barbecued ribs. This is a nice side. I'm gonna leave it, I have the goat cheese, so I have that as some protein in there. I'm gonna leave it just like that. Last thing we're gonna add are the candied black pepper pecans. Now I purchased these at Whole Foods, but you can make them very easily, and you can go on the recipe site and get that as well. I'm gonna do a little more goat cheese, and then when we come back, I'm gonna toss it up. We'll talk about a couple ideas we can do with crostini to enhance the flavor, and we'll be ready to go.
The final 2018 Accord clearance is now during our model year-end clearance sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for new Accords. All on clearance this week at your local Honda dealer.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.
For nearly a dozen car burglaries. We'll have the story. Plus, we'll tell you how the University of Central Florida is helping students impacted by Hurricane Maria. And 2 people are dead after a plane in South Carolina split in 2 after landing.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. I'm Ray Collins. Our top story, an investigation is underway into a fatal plane crash in South Carolina. The plane broke in half after speeding off the runway after landing. As ABC's Marcus Moore tells us now, 2 of the 4 on board were killed.
They are off the runway. They're off the runway in the embankment. Engines are running.
A frightening scene at the South Carolina airport. The twisted and torn cabin of this private jet with 4 people on board split in 2 after skidding off the side of this landing strip. That plane dropping 50 feet down an embankment, smashing through a fence before coming to a stop in the middle of the road.
Private plane on Airport Road went off the landing strip.
Firefighters rushing to the devastating scene, but the co-pilot, 66-year-old Stephen Fox, and the pilot died.
It was unfortunate. I think one of the pilots was laying on the throttle and was unconscious, and so very difficult to get in the aircraft.
Rescuers breaking down the cockpit door to free 2 passengers who managed to survive. A married couple both rushed to the hospital with serious injuries. This morning, what caused the crash is unclear. By all accounts, the landing was considered routine for the Falcon 50 jet.
It's a very modern airplane and has an excellent safety record. And so even on a runway that's relatively short, this airplane should have had no problem stopping before it got to the end of the runway.
And investigators with the NTSB will focus on the wreckage just behind me as they try to figure out how this crash happened. And the plane's data recorder and cockpit voice recorders could answer a lot of unanswered questions. Marcus Moore, ABC News, Greenville, South Carolina.
New at noon, police in Sarasota arrested 2 suspects for a string of car burglaries. Officers were called to Wisteria Place in Arlington Park about 2 a.m. Monday by a witness who saw one of the burglaries in progress. Police then received another call from an alert citizen who saw where the suspects lived. As officers arrived, they saw Mackenzie Daling and Taylor Carr walk outside of a home. In the end, officers found at least 10 other vehicles have been broken into overnight in Arlington Park. They charged both of these suspects with 11 felonies each. Heading toward the weekend now. Looks like some nice sun out there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. Today, tomorrow, probably Sunday as well. Good. Looks like a great weekend ahead.
Not as much rain?
You know, not today, not tomorrow. We'll see about Sunday. Yeah. Right now, it looks like probably not as much rain either. So, you know, a little chance to get out there and mow the lawn that some of you may have been neglecting, finger pointing to myself at this moment. Yeah, so we're looking at the Titan radar right here, and it shows pretty quiet conditions across the Suncoast. Not much in the way of any kind of rain showers whatsoever. So pretty quiet conditions here on the Suncoast. Now, as we head into the afternoon, I think we'll probably see a few of these clouds begin to build that we're seeing in inland areas right now. And those clouds will start to move into the area and provide us with that chance of rain showers as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures are going to respond to all that heating as well. Right now, we're looking at temperatures climbing up to near the 90 degree mark. We got 87 in most locations, and we're certainly heading to a temperature that'll take us to near 90 with about a 20% chance of an evening shower. We'll detail that weekend forecast for you in just a few minutes, Ray.
Thank you, John. Talk to you soon. In the wake of last year's Hurricane Maria, the University of Central Florida is offering in-state tuition to students who came to the school from Puerto Rico or the U.S. Virgin Islands. The university's trustees voted yesterday to waive out-of-state fees for students from those U.S. territories through the year 2023. The trustees also expanded the offer to any students from those islands who already are in the pipeline at Florida's 28 public community college. Students must remain enrolled in order to qualify. A new study finds that the Atlantic's warmer waters triggered an unusual number of major hurricanes last year. The study also predicted by the end of the century, the region could see a couple of extra big storms each and every year. Last year alone, 6 major hurricanes with winds of at least 111 miles per hour spun around the Atlantic. The average is usually 3, again last year 6. A federal climate scientist says in his study that the Atlantic was extra warm due to both natural conditions and what he says human-caused climate change. Help is arriving for Suncoast businesses impacted by red tide. The U.S. Small Business Association is offering disaster loans for those who have lost money due to the toxic algae bloom. The owner of a kayak and bike service named Robert Nicola says he's been around for 9 years, and the red tide nearly destroyed his business. He says he lost thousands of dollars in months and to lay off 4 employees.
You don't know what it's going to have on the long-term effect, because would you spend thousands of dollars next summer coming to Sarasota if there's a chance there's going to be red tide?
Small businesses can qualify for 30-year loans for up to $2 million. The maximum interest rate for the program is 3.3%. He says these loans are crucial to help businesses get back on their feet. A big-name NFL quarterback is helping beef up the Bradenton Police Department. The Ben Roethlisberger Foundation gave a grant to the Bradenton Police to acquire a new fully trained canine. The dog will help enable drug investigations.
This is unmet budgetary requirements. We don't have a budget for a dog this year, so this is funds that go, above and beyond to provide this need for our community.
Now, this is the 12th consecutive year that Roethlisberger has conducted this campaign to support canine units, not just here, but across the country as well. All right, back to the kitchen now. Once again, here's Chef Judy.
Okay, so we had the baby arugula and spinach in with the goat cheese and all those delicious cherries. And man, they're coming in very, very juicy this time of year. We made the cherry vinaigrette, so simple. White wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, just a touch of oil, and some cherry juice. Remember, we made that with reduced cherry juice. Now we're going to come over here for a little bump of flavor. If you want to just make it a little more special, I'm just going to take either, it depends what cheese you like. You can do more of the goat cheese, or for me, what I really like is the gorgonzola, that Italian creamy blue cheese. So I'm going to put this on my board. Now this is the type of board I soak in the oven, I soak in the sink for about 2 hours. That's when you want to cook, say like a cedar plank, something like that. Soak it in water for about 2 hours, and that way it's going to be ready to go. We're going to stick that in the oven just so the cheese starts to melt. Now back over at the salad. Oh, this is so good. And by all means, think out of the box. You have 2 peaches that you need to use up at home. Use them in this. This would be delicious. Okay, so we'll give it a nice hearty toss. And then we'll put out for display. Now be careful because the dressing goes a long way, but what I like to do is I always serve a little dressing on the table at the side. It's just like if you're having spaghetti and meatballs and you want some sauce on the side in case somebody wants extra, that's what you want to do. So I'm also going to add just a few more cherries around the plate, and oh, this is just so refreshing. And a few more of the nuts. There we go. And just a little more goat cheese on top. So that lucky person gets that one on top, right? So since I have a few cherries left over, I'm going to go ahead, since they're already pitted, and put that in the blender. And then I'll be able to grind that up and blend it with some more of the reduced juice that I have and make another batch. This is going to be so good on so many different things, even as you're grilling chicken, things like that. I'll be back to tell you where to find the recipe, and we'll check on our croutons in just a minute.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. And right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month, or get 0% financing with 0 down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
Ready to open up new opportunities as an electrician? Don't do it yourself. Team up with Mr. Sparky instead. We're locally owned and looking for people like you. We offer our electricians great perks that you just won't get going it alone. And whether you're an apprentice, a master electrician, or somewhere in between, we have a spot for you.
Best decision I ever made.
Apply online or call today.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC 7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Yep, we're at 87 already, and we have a dew point value of 75, so it is a sticky day out there. The heat index now at 96, and we'll certainly crack that 100-degree mark today for the heat values. We'll go with about 91 or 2 for a daytime high today. I think the heating of the day will continue on a little bit longer than we normally might have in a typical summer day with an east wind, because we won't get those afternoon showers and thunderstorms to kind of cool things off. Only really about a 20% chance of storms, and they'll be delayed from the mid-afternoon period into the evening period, kind of like they were yesterday, although we saw a few afternoon storms around yesterday. We also saw them kind of redevelop again as we headed into the evening hours, and we got a little bit of an easterly wind flow, and the East Coast sea breeze kind of meeting up with our West Coast sea breeze and producing those showers and thunderstorms. Also, there wasn't as much moisture in the air, so it took a little bit more heating to get things going, and that's going to be the case again today. As we head into the evening, everything kind of dissipates out, and we'll be left with a pretty quiet overnight. Right now, everything is quiet out here, not seeing much in the way of any kind of rainfall. The morning cloud cover kind of has moved away. We're left with just these cellular clouds in inland areas right now, the beginnings of what will eventually turn into showers. The drier air, as we discussed earlier, continues to just kind of stream in from the Atlantic, and that's going to help keep our rain chances down over the weekend. Now, this graphic that I'll show you here is what we call precipitable water. It's basically the water available to produce rain showers. And in this graphic, redder is wetter. When you get into these cooler colors, it's drier air. And watch what happens as we go from today into the next couple of days. We just get this flow of drier air that continues to come across the state. And that really does just cut our rain chances way down. Now, it's not the end of our rainy season. The moisture will be back as we head into next week. We'll probably still have another couple of weeks left in our rainy season, and usually it doesn't really start to fall apart until October. But we're getting pretty close to the end of it now, so any little extra rainfall we can pick up, added bonus. High pressure, the dominant weather feature just to our north. Frontal boundary, located back to the west of us, has really got some cooler air associated with it, but we continue on with this easterly wind. Mostly sunny skies, slightly drier over the weekend, calm in the tropics for us. As we discussed earlier, there are no systems that really bother us. So I talked about that colder air back to the west. Check this out right now. 39 degrees in Billing, 46 in Denver, 60 degrees in Kansas City, and 70s in the Northeast. Might be pretty close to daytime highs today. So unfortunately, that doesn't extend as far south as Florida. We stay in that warm, muggy air right straight through the next couple of weeks. Probably won't see temperatures below 60 until next month. Southeast wind comes in at about 10 knots, 2-foot seas, light chop. That'll be true through the weekend. And the forecast looks pretty nice. Warm temperatures, if you like warm temperatures. There's no cold air here, but probably dry conditions for Saturday, and maybe someday on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday we start bringing the moisture back and upping the rain chances a bit, right?
Thank you, John. On to consumer news now. Honda is recalling about 250,000 cars due to issues with the backup camera display. The recall affects 2018 Accords and 2019 Insight models. In some cases, when the car is put in reverse, the display does not come on properly. A Georgia company may be on the brink of solving the problem of plastic trash in landfills. Danamere Scientific is developing a biodegradable material that can be used to make straws. Now, straws are one of the most common items that wind up in trash, but this straw would be biodegradable.
Hearing a lot of news about, and so we thought, well, you know, we have the resin, I think we can already do that, and so we did it.
A Danamere plastic straw is a natural food source for soil bacteria, and that means it'll disappear after just 2 or 3 months in the ground. The product could be available as soon as next year. Still to come on your Suncoast News, one last check with Chef Judy, and we'll tell you who's going to replace the late Burt Reynolds in an upcoming Quentin Tarantino film.
Gettle's got what you're looking for at Gettle.com. 17 new car brands, over 1,000 used vehicles, prices and payments you can afford. Credit help if you need it, and they pay cash for your old car. Plus, Gettle Pre-Owned Certified Plus means buying with peace of mind. Need service? Gettle's got that too. Gettle's got it. Visit Gettle.com.
Call to see if you qualify to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan right now. At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and coinsurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable monthly plan premium, and in some areas, no plan premium. It's all described in this free book. Call for yours and discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free. Call or go online right now.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-871-1644. 800-871-1644.
ABC7 is the most watched, most trusted news source on the Suncoast, and we owe it all to you, our loyal viewers. Thank you for making us #1.
So here you have it, simple ingredients, nice and fresh. We have that beautiful baby arugula and baby spinach. We have our toasted pecans that are caramelized, little extra black pepper, croutons of melted, just slightly melted gorgonzola cheese, but making the goat cheese and the cherries the real star. It is delicious cherry season, and I am just excited because I'll probably be making a cherry pie or a cherry cobbler as well. You can get this recipe and so many others by going on to mysuncoast.com. Simply click on the recipes, the video will be there, and check out our restaurant partners that are on the page. You'll get to click on them and explore menus and see what specials they have coming up. While I go back to my salad and enjoy freshness, I'm going to toss it over to you guys. Have a great day, everybody.
All right, thank you, Judy. You too. Later today on the news at 4 o'clock, Latest details on the vote for the U.S. Supreme Court nomination of Brett Kavanaugh. A vote is expected today at 1:30 p.m., by the way. Plus, new information from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission on the red tide on the Suncoast. Look at see if it's safe to swim this weekend. All that and more today on the news at 4 o'clock. For the latest now in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
I was a couple credits shy of graduating. I gotta get my GED.
A lot of people could be going to night school this weekend. It looks like the Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish PG-13 comedy is heading towards a first-place finish at the box office, somewhere in the $30 million range. But it may have some competition.
And it fell from the sky!
Gary, calm down. You know how you get.
Okay, I'll try, but I'm just so scared.
Animated adventure Smallfoot, featuring the voices of Channing Tatum, Zendaya, and others, is tracking in the $25 million range.
Are you ready?
2 other movies opening wide, the horror flick Hellfest.
You don't know what it's like to have everyone else make fun of your nose.
Well, Little Women.
I want to make friends and go to parties and talk to guys our own age.
A Star is Born continues to take the world by storm at the London premiere Thursday night. Star Lady Gaga was asked about the Oscar buzz the remake is getting.
That would be wonderful, but all we can hope for is that the film touches people's lives. It's a beautiful love story, and it operates on many levels, and I'm excited for people to see it and experience it.
And you'll get to experience it next weekend. Aretha Franklin will get a big send-off at the American Music Awards. The show will honor the legendary singer with a tribute by Gladys Knight and more when the AMAs air on October 9th on ABC. Franklin had a long history with the show, hosting it twice and winning 6 AMAs. Her birthday's Friday. Oscar-nominated actress Naomi Watts turns 50, while singer and actress Hilary Duff turns 30. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Bruce Dern is replacing the late Burt Reynolds in an upcoming Quentin Tarantino film. Reynolds was set to star in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. His part was a rancher who owned the land where Charles Manson and his family lived during the 1960s. Of course, Reynolds died earlier this month before he began work on the project. The movie is set to come out sometime next year. How would you like that? Bruce Dern, we want you to fill that role instead. We think you look old enough.
Yeah, yes, exactly. That's pretty good casting, though, I guess, as a rancher.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, nice. All right, have a great weekend, and we'll see you Monday morning on Good Morning Suncoast.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
The Players Center presents the wild Broadway season opener, Annie, Get Your Gun. There's no business like show business. This slice of magical American musical theater will thrill you with the classic tunes of Irving Berlin. Call the Players Center at 365-2494 or visit us at theplayers.org. Annie, Get Your Gun, September 18th through October 7th. Let's go on with the show.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Monday at 9 on Suncoast View.
Selby Gardens is famous for its plant collections. I'm Linda Carson. On Suncoast View, we'll learn how Selby is working to preserve their plants digitally forever. It's a case of mistaken identity in Lend Me a Tenor at the Venice Theater, Plus, Suncoast women come together to make strides against breast cancer. And Cottage on Siesta Key is in our kitchen.
Monday at 9 on Suncoast View.
Through Saturday, RAV4s from 29. Then it's Toyota.com.